my brother's half of the money. He always says that. and we're responsible for all cost overruns, but this is a partnership between Frisco, FISD, CDC, EDC. That's the magic of Frisco, their partnerships. That's why the Star has been so successful there. Jerry took the team there for the headquarters. PGA is there. I mean, it really is an amazing community, and we're responsible for all the maintenance, capital improvements, upkeep. We spent $50 million to date on that stadium, just in maintenance, upkeep, capital, and I bet we'll spend, the lease will run to 2057 now, and I bet we'll spend between 120 and 150 million just keeping it nice.
So the high schools are still playing?
High schools are still playing there, 2 college games every year. I'd love to have a kickoff classic, honestly. Yeah. One of my dad's life lessons was, hey, taxpayers deserve a return. You got to program these things, and he loved college football so much. He would tell you he played very poorly, but he still loved college football.
And timeline?
Timeline. We'll start construction in January or February of 2025 on the east side and the north. We'll be done with the east about May or June of 2026. We'll start on the west side, knock that whole building down. We thought about renovating it, but in the end, you can't be great without taking a giant leap. And so renovation was going to hold us back on that building. So it's going to be brand new. It's going to be incredible.
Wow.
So everything should be done
Right.
December 2027, January 2028.
So part of the renovation here, it's going to be a reduction in stadium capacity. How did you guys go about it, trying to determine, you know, where you wanted to see those reductions, how much, what you wanted to do with just different sort of things?
Yeah, so we're going to shut down the east side, and we'll have about 11,000 fans a game, which for us, this year we've sold out every single match. First time in the history of the club, 14 straight sellouts. The way it's looking, we will have sold out our entire season, which is a gigantic step for us. Very exciting, but we'll have 11,000 fans, west and south, and then we'll flip-flop and have east and south and have 11,000 fans. And it's important to us for the city of Frisco to keep having events, right? That's an economic driver. We don't want to displace our fans. This is their home, and this is our home and for our players. And so we did it in Kansas City at Arrowhead when we renovated that stadium. That was $400 million on that renovation, and we played through it. And that's the way you should do it.
You guys catch some, like, these player surveys, catch some, like, heat for the Arrowhead or Chief facilities. Is that, what is your reaction to that? Is that, like, overblown in terms of, oh, this practice facility or this here with the home of the Super Bowl champs?
Yeah, my brother didn't let me spend his half of No, yeah, I think that was just way out of proportion on that. And, you know, when you visit the players, they seem really happy. Yeah, the new facilities are amazing. And you see the stuff that they put in. We're constantly renovating and spending. Again, life lesson from my dad, take care of your stadium, it'll take care of you. That includes your facilities. And so we're constantly spending on it. But the Chiefs are at this interesting crossroad. We lost the vote after the Super Bowl there on Arrowhead. And so what we do going forward, stadium-wise, and then also practice facility-wise, but it's also time for the Chiefs to now take that big step forward, too. I mean, what an amazing franchise. What a great story. What a great legacy.
Dan Head, FC Dallas president, in studio with the huge news that passed last night. I'm always interested when a new stadium is being built and picked out. Who did you consult? What other stadium?
Hey, hit that subscribe button, please.
You guys.
Hey, where you coming from? I see you. Looks like you're in there, but I'm not sure how this works. So maybe a name will pop up or something.
Video board.
Or I don't see a
Who do
name.
you talk to and say, this is what we want?
Please hit the subscribe button.
Together with our vision.
Yeah, I mean, you can
What's
start
up,
right
Miss
here.
Katari?
Take AT&T Stadium. We spent so much time on it.
Katri?
2026.
You
Katri?
take your shade from their shade with the
Casa
girls.
Hope.
No,
Kisa Hope. Click that name.
Yeah, no, but how they thought about it.
Where you coming from? Hey, hit the subscribe button, please.
Any other stadium.
If you coming in, just hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get the 200 before the end of the year.
So they'll have.
And then next year I'll have a goal of at least 500, and just got a 500 after that.
Fans too. But yeah,
But I appreciate the love.
look at the stadium.
Just subscribe or hit the like button.
Structure is so uniquely designed because of the way the sun sets there, and so we had to really focus. on
So what's on your agenda today, other than watching me?
That's what
'Cause I'm just leaving the gym.
AT
Will getting over. I don't like being beside AT Willis.
Obviously,
Heck no, I hate that.
you saw outside.
Anything can happen.
Like that in Europe.
Yeah, I'm just leaving the gym. Did a good little hour worth of cardio, some resistance work, a little resistance work, you know, little pull-ups. Shoulder issue I got to work on. Of course, did some abdominal work, little ab work.
Were you that
But main focus is cardio, this point forward.
came out? Look, it was.
I go home and drop off my wet clothes,
Dallas
put them in the washer, then head to the building, out to the office for a little bit, some training out there,
It's hard to explain.
and some studying later on at the library.
New York, financial.
Hey, please hit the like button or hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it.
Capital of the world, but we were ready.
Like if you didn't know, I'm gonna tell you I'm out of Texas.
Thing is, I bet the next big one, whether it's
I'm in Texas.
it may wind up here in Dallas. Whenever that happens in the men's game, whenever it comes back, or when the women's World Cup comes here, we're gonna raise our hand to have the final here.
Sheehan, where y'all coming from? Who's from?
phone look like when
Where you from, Miss?
did get announced that the World
Katri?
Cup is coming? How many more friends did you make with
I'm out of Texas. I'm between Dallas and Fort Worth.
I mean, I don't know, Olympics.
So where you coming from, Vans?
Could be one or two. I mean,
Like I said earlier, I'm just leaving the gym. My little workout I do every day, at least an hour and a half. Sometimes 2 on the weekends, maybe 3 if I go for a long walk. But I believe in being fit, not only fit, healthy, but I think it does a lot for your mental health as well. I think people take for granted with just eating healthy and just being in movement. It does for your body, mind, and soul, and your heart. Indonesia, awesome. So yeah, if you have, I don't know what time it is, what part of the country you're from, but yeah, make sure you always get out. At least if you can't do nothing but walk every day, just go walk. And you don't have to walk fast. Just get your bottle of water and go for a little walk, for like 20, 30 minutes, and just increase it upon that. Increase it. But I'm a firm believer in exercise every day if I can. Some days I take a break. I don't do a lot of strenuous, a lot of pushing and pulling, but I make sure I go out and get the heart rate up a little bit, and helps you think better, clearer. You won't be as stressed out.
Energized, Fair Park area, Fort Worth is wanting to be really involved in this too, and so
Yeah, you won't be as stressed out over little things.
Monica Paul, who runs that.
Man, this guy right up beside me. Am I over too far or what? Are he over too far? God. She's from Indonesia. Where you from, Vans? I tell you where I was from. I tell you I'm from Texas. I'm between Dallas and Fort Worth. I'm near Dallas. Everybody know where Dallas is at.
And she pulled this all together for an awesome bid. So there's going to be all sorts of activations. Biggest tournament ever, right, guys? 104 games, 48 teams in the tournament, and we hope Toyota Stadium and Soccer Center. We hope Fair Park. We hope SMU and Money Grant Soccer Park are all base camp servicing national teams. We're chasing that. We want to energize this market for 38 days.
You mentioned, the attendance success you guys have had there in Frisco this year. How much do you think that made things just easier and even more palatable for the city to say, like, oh yeah,
Some doctors have also been affected because obviously lots of medics do web pages for professional reasons. Is that something you've come across?
We did not receive any medical personnel as a casualty.
Just to clarify, there were also claims that staff at your hospital, I think, received a new batch of sorry to push on this, but what kind of upgrade would that involve?
software upgrade and some hardware upgrade, but like antennas and stuff, but not for the actual devices that you carry.
Okay, and in terms of the healthcare, now that you're having to continue, and you mentioned there's still 30 in the emergency room, 140 still in your hospital, do you have everything you need, or are you still needing people to donate blood and that sort of thing?
We have enough.
Hey, do me a favor. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So when I come back on, you can catch up with me. Everybody right now is, I don't know if you're overseas or you're here in the States. Right now, everybody's talking about the Sean Combs arrest. That's as our system goes, you're innocent to proven guilty. But that indictment, I haven't read it. I've seen people talk about it. I can only imagine. They've been building this case for probably 14 years on this guy.
And in terms So
or maybe
the
longer.
moment this happened,
They just finally got somebody willing to take it that wasn't corrupt.
quite a difficult set of
So he had everybody on his
circumstances.
payroll.
So many people, plus
Wanted to be
relatives,
seen with him from
rushing
the
to the hospitals, and this was when it was
vice
untold.
president to
No one had
act
happened.
after in Hollywood.
So it was really very chaotic. We had hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people around the hospital, but we were able to contain the masses.
Everybody watching what the interest rate is going to do today. I mean, I really don't care what the interest rate does, to be honest. I'm a realtor, but it doesn't affect me the way it goes. I think you're going to buy a home, you're going to buy a home regardless of the rate. You can always refile later. Because it's not, the bigger problem is low inventory. That's the bigger problem that people don't seem to be talking about. There's no inventory, the prices will always be elevated. So anyway.
No, it's not an admission, and I can tell you there's no point you're trying to get any comments out of the Israeli government because they're not going to give it to you. They never would in a situation like this, so don't waste your time.
Eventually people will be, well, they're already, I think some people are already spending $3,000 for rent or a lease. I took somebody out to see a lease the other day, and I think it was like $2,900. It was $1,900. No, it was $2,900. It was $2,700, $2,800 for a lease. It's like, wow, they're not supposed to buy a house that much. So yeah, we got a lot of Americans right now that's in a pickle. They don't make enough money, period, to lease, buy, or rent. They don't have enough money for either one. So yeah, you will see an uptick. And I've been the bearer of bad news. There will be an uptick unless people start moving together with their family members. You'll see an uptick in homelessness increasing, which I've begun to see already in my neck of the woods. Yeah, I got a guy right now to my left. So I'm sitting at this light. He's peddling. I don't know. He got mental health issues. We got his bottle of water. He's got his backpack and a bottle of water.
Important intelligence as well. So, in addition to the overt war, low-level overt war that Israel and Hezbollah have been waging for,
some of us only one decision away from being homeless.
we have this
One bad decision.
in which Israel is doing
One bad decision costs you
to
everything.
degrade Hezbollah's capabilities.
And so what is the thinking as to why this is happening now?
Because over the past 11 months, as a result of this tit-for-tat fighting along Israel's northern border, that situation there remains incredibly volatile. Tens of thousands of civilians on both sides of the border have to flee their homes. There is enormous pressure building here in Israel on the government to resolve the situation, to get to a situation where people can go back to their homes. And it was literally only 2 or 3 days ago that the government finally adopted as one of its war aims for the war in Gaza, the return of civilians to those northern communities along the Lebanese border. So there has been a great deal of speculation that the Netanyahu government might be about to do something more significant than the airstrike that has been mounting relentlessly for the past year, possibly involving some kind of ground operation in southern Lebanon. We're not seeing any sign of a preparation for that. This attack yesterday might, in other circumstances, have been seen as perhaps laying the groundwork for such an operation, because obviously, in addition to mutilating thousands of Hezbollah fighters, it also severely damaged.
Oh crap!
Doctors to doctor all these patients.
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through lies.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever heard of the 5 Ps? That's right, the 5 Ps. These can be applied to most every area of your life, but it's especially true for you and your money. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and many years ago when I was a young man in the Marine Corps, I learned about the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Now, you can't control what's happening with the stock
Good on,
market.
Shive.
You can control how you plan for it.
Where you coming from today? Hey, hit the subscribe button, please, Shive. I appreciate it.
5 Ps for years. We have
I'm trying to get to 150 by the end of the week.
by using financial jargon.
Got 3 days.
Structure is transparent. The more you make, the more we make. The majority of our clients come from other financial advisors. Isn't it time for a second opinion about Trajan Wealth to help you with the 5 Ps too? Call Trajan today at 469-579-3500 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Oh, shit went that way.
Gaza, a new way to experience sports entertainment and art is here.
Well, I ain't gonna have to time to go there.
College football is thrilling and captivating art entertainment. Get ready to enter the extraordinary at Cosm Dallas.
I don't know why I thought that was at 10 o'clock.
Cosm.com, that's COSM.com.
There are only a few tickets left for two passions: Rangers, baseball, and barbecue.
I wouldn't even go to that crap
Spot.
actually.
It is the Hurtado Barbecue Masterclass with my man Brandon Hurtado and the legend, the greatest catcher of all time, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, is going to join him as his barbecue assistant October 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Globe on top of the Rangers dugout. You're going to learn all the secrets. I didn't even know you could chicken fry certain things until I went to the last masterclass with Brandon, John Gray, and Bassett. I'm a big fan of like hot mustard, spicy, sweet. Brandon cooked that up. They're going to serve you lunch. They're going to have the drinks. You're going to take all the notes and talk Rangers baseball with the great Pudge Rodriguez while learning Mexico. So get some of the final pair of tickets. Take your friend.
Yeah, I was close to going back that way.
Uncle or the missus. HurtadoBBQ.com. HurtadoBBQ.com for your Pudge tickets today.
The cleats have hit the field. Kickoff is here. Game days arrived and Specs brings the cheers. Ice cold beers, team lift experience, cocktails in a can.
We're just gonna go to
And hear your football fans chant. No panic. The Specs largest selection and lowest prices. You can make every game day feel just as nice. Before the players start running their routes and schemes, approve to Specs for your game day needs. Specs, cheers to savings.
Are you ready for some football? Well, you are now, thanks to Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the NFL, Ticketmaster's got the best way to take it to the house when it comes to being there live. The safest and most convenient marketplace, just 100% verified resale tickets for every Cowboys game. Even if your plans get broken up or lost, turned off, Ticketmaster gives you more flexibility to sell your seats. Score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm a little late, but late than ever. No kind of exercise.
You're looking, what you're talking about there, but still, I like what we all with our run backs. We got good depth. We just didn't get to run enough Sunday.
That was Jerry Jones yesterday responding to RJ Choppy's question. It actually made you look better after the fact.
Oh yeah.
Because people are like, could not believe Jerry's answer versus maybe laughing in the moment like I did, like, oh, what a stupid question. But people are losing their minds that Jerry not only talked about the running back room being fine, but also did not seem to give an indication that Dalvin Cook would play this weekend.
I'll tell you what it's easy to understand. I'll tell you what it means. Your running back sucks. Your running back room sucks.
Well, they didn't have, they couldn't get to the run game being down that much, RJ.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Let's bring in Nick Eatman from DallasCowboys.com, brought to you by the WinStar Grill Casino and Resort. Proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly. Jerry, Nick, what jumped out to you yesterday from that Jerry interview?
Oh, great. I mean, I was a little surprised with the Dalvin Cook part. I thought, why not? This is
I'm gonna say Dalvin for
brought
game
in
5.
to see if he's got something and to
13, 17
see if
game.
he could add something to your running back room. And after 2 games, he doesn't. The running backs haven't produced yet. And I know that he's the greatest rushing quarterback of all time, probably, but I mean, the Cowboys have 3 more rushing yards as a team than Lamar Jackson right now through 2 games. And some of that is because he's really good. Some of he hasn't run the ball, and so if you're gonna sign Dalvin Cook to see you might need him at some point. Looks like at some point it's a lot closer than you thought.
Anything else from Jerry?
Not really.
Okay.
He's optimistic. He was just like he was saying, hey, let's go get it done now. Now he didn't get specifically, why would he specifically what they're going to do? But he just made it sound like they've got to play better. And so maybe it is as simple as that. But I'm sure it's a lot more in depth when the coaches are breaking it down, and maybe there is some things that are going to be changed. But I get the sense, and talking to people throughout the day yesterday, that there's not going to be a ton of all right, well, we got to switch this, and this. I think they are talking it up as a bad day, and maybe that's the right thing to do. But if that's the case, then maybe the Saints are better than we thought. But I don't think that it's a panic button situation. But it does feel like there's some changes need to be made, especially on the defense.
You mentioned, Nick, there that he was optimistic. Was it? Did you feel like it was optimism, or did you feel like it's more like it's too early for me to go super negative yet? I feel almost like Jerry's tone these last couple days has been like, it's early. I'm not willing to just say we don't have problems yet, but it's early, and so let's let this play out a little bit.
That's probably it, and also just how much faith that he has in his coaches, especially his head coach and his defensive coordinator, and so he and the players that they have. So I think that's part of it. I think he is optimistic because it is early, so it's probably both can be the case. But we've heard this before. He's not going to just jump at every situation and panic. We've seen this before, but not really to that kind of loss. And that's what I think is concerning. And the fact that you just got out physical by a team that you didn't expect to happen. But you do expect the Ravens to be physical, and they've got a running attack that can hurt you in a lot of ways. So this is what's going to be a huge test for this team.
Nick Eatman joined us here on The Fan. So because of that, do you think we kind of need to change our perception on how we view the first couple of weeks of the season? Because obviously it is really but nobody does anything in the preseason anymore, and you're just not where you are.
I think so. I've never done this. When the schedule comes out, I don't ever do all right, they'll win, they'll lose, they'll do this, and it's 10-7. I don't ever do that because it's ridiculous. Because you just don't know. And it's games like that. It's games like against the Saints. There's 5 teams in the league that are going to be way better than you thought. 5 teams that are going to be way worse. And the injuries are going to affect a lot of things too, and so it just makes no sense to do it. You bring up a good point about the preseason too. Now we know even less. We hear the term unscattered looks all the time. Unscattered, everything is unscattered looks. And the Saints, they didn't. It was probably like the coin toss to kick off in the first drive, and they're like, all right, we're beating the Panthers. So after that, they blew them out, but how much did they show? And so you didn't even get to see a lot of that. And it just seemed like the Saints were 5 steps ahead of the Cowboys did, and everything they tried to do on offense and defense. And that's, I think, the most alarming part.
Nick Eatman, D&M Leasing Hotline, every hump day here on Sean and RJ. So I'm really alarmed, obviously, by the defensive performance. More worry about the personnel out there, or Mike Zimmer just getting schooled with the game plan, and despite what Jerry said, in my opinion, not adjusting to anything to slow them down within the game.
So you're asking me which one is more concerning to coaches or the players that are there? So it's probably more of the players. I think Zimmer has shown over his career that he can get it fixed.
Yeah.
You just wonder what do you have to give up to get it fixed. You know, like what do you? And I'm not talking about like the trade for anybody or anything. I'm just saying, you can stop the run.
Yeah.
Everybody can stop the run if they want. It's just, are you going to be one-on-one on the outside with those safety up? Because we saw, they weren't even loading up top. So I want to see. I don't want it, but I think we need to see this 2 or at least 1 or 2 more times of just getting absolutely throttled by a team in every phase to be like, all right, this is a huge problem. So you can chalk it up as a bad day, but it's the last day right now. So until we see that it's not a trend, then I think that we should be alarmed by it.
Nick, I was curious to hear and see what Zimmer's temperament was talking about this during the course of the week. What was he like the other day? Was he pissed? Was he calm? Was he chill? What was Zimmer's temperament?
Pretty pissed. I think he was pissed, but also like he took every sense of accountability, like all of it, like, and even to the point of, I wouldn't say defiant, but when it got brought up again about, you said the players, then he's like, I didn't say that. I said I need to put them in better position. So like he didn't throw them under the bus at all. He put it all on, But as most coaches, like I could see that happening once, twice, maybe. But he's old school to the point where, he may be saying that to the media, but he'll, when if this same thing keeps happening and it is a player's thing, then I don't think he'll throw people under the bus, but I do think he'll be a little different in his answers, and also we'll see it in the changes in the personnel.
Nick, more likely that the Cowboys say, we got to make a change here and go out and try and acquire a running back, or go out and try and acquire a defensive tackle?
I would say they would probably sign a defensive tackle before a running back. Again, assuming there's some people out there. But that would be my first thought there. I think they're still going to try to do this with that at running back, and then it was in first, and then the practice squad. So that's the sense that I'm getting, is that they're going to, the guys we saw the other day, will get some looks. We'll get the majority of these carries, and then maybe Dalvin Cook the next week. I don't know. I guess he's not ready this week. But
Bobby, weren't you told week 3 for Dallas?
That was kind of the anticipation, I think, for some people, is that Dalvin was looking at week 3 for his launch, but maybe they feel like he's behind, or maybe Jerry was just not one to tip his hand. Would a trade rumor works?
True. Well, also, Dalvin Cook may have wanted, week 3 because that is the team that he played. But last time,
hey, please hit the like button and subscribe button. I appreciate it.
And it makes total sense too. Like 3 weeks in, that's how much I need to be ready to go. That's kind of what Jason Peters did a few years ago, kind of same type of thing. So yeah, that makes sense on a lot of levels. McCarthy said it's not so much just his ability, and as far as conditioning, it's also terminology. So maybe he hasn't picked the offense up to that point, but most of the time for running backs, run the ball, but the big thing is with a running back, as we're seeing in here, is the blitz pickup. I think there's people in the building that want to give Deuce Vaughn more carries, and then there's people that don't want him to ever have to pass block. And so defensive coordinators are, they're kind of smart enough to know, like, all right, well, we're going to just blitz the house if this happens. So I don't know, like, it's a tough one. I still feel like Zeke has a little bit more value, and so does Dalvin Cook. They've done it in this league for a while, and I think both of them, I would probably try to keep both of them out there if possible.
Nick, you do not have to expand on this. We can do it all more Friday because we're running out of time. But 1 through 10, how bad is this matchup for the Cowboys against Baltimore, with 10 being the worst?
I would say 7.
Okay.
Just because they got out physical by a team that is, that's what they do. They out physical you, and so that's even scary. And they have a hard time stopping dynamic players, and the most dynamic one in the league is happening here. But You can make him throw. You know, if you can force him in a situation to throw, he might throw it to you as well. So there's that, but it's going to be a big challenge. You know, Cowboys are desperate. They may be not as desperate as the team coming in, which is even scarier.
Great stuff, man. We appreciate it. We'll talk about it Friday. Nick Keevan brought to you by the WinStar World Casino and Resort.
That is the scary.
Yeah, it's not good that they're 0-2. No good at all.
That is a test for football.
Crosstalk with KFC is next, but are you desperate to vent? To get it off your chest? We all need to do it. A lot of times that dispute with your partner, I believe it can be solved with just a third party, because you're probably going to act a little bit different. You have someone to be impartial and maybe give you an idea, a thought, or a solution to fix the issue. That is where BetterHelp comes in. H-E-L-P. It's BetterHelp provided by a licensed therapist. In-office visits. You can message at any time. You can't do that with typical in-office therapy. Chat sessions, not with in-office. Phone sessions, not with in-office. Video sessions, easy scheduling, digital worksheets, group sessions, smart provider matching. You can switch at any time, and you can access therapy from anywhere. That is not the case with in-office sessions. So head on over and get 10% off by being a Tola with BetterHelp. HELP.com/Sean and RJ. That's 10% off at BetterHelp.com/SHAN and RJ.
Coming up in the next G-Bag Nation at 3:40 Krusty's Corner, Broadus is going to preview the Ravens offense, what they've been putting on film. Nation 2 to 6:30 on the Fan.
Hola amigos, Broadus is here to help you beat the books with BetQL. No love, no problem for the Pack. Green Bay was without Jordan Love last week, but that did not stop them from beating the Colts. Now the Packers face the 0-2 Titans, and the model has a cheesehead staying tough in Week 3. Packers +3 is a 5-star best bet. Hashtag Team Huevos. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
God, hey, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. RSV vaccine at Vaxassist.com. Sponsored by
Fabrice, as a rideshare driver, I love keeping my head clean. Trust me, Fabrice Carpet Clips, now with 3 times greater scent control. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's sets are low, medium, or high, with new Victory's car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver ready right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar! Are you tired of falling short on your health and fitness goals? It may be your hormones. Optimizing hormones can have a dramatic impact both physically and mentally. BioT is the world's leader in training healthcare providers on bioidentical hormone optimization. BioT's providers treat low T, low energy, muscle loss, low sex drive, and performance. Get your edge back in 2024 by visiting myhormonelevels.com to see if you qualify for a reduced cost program offered by a BioT certified provider. That's myhormonelevels.com.
RJ Chop here, big friends of K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofing and waterproofing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. That's a big, beautiful K-Post roof on AT&T Stadium and the home of the world champs and the American Airlines Center and at my house. And I got that done in May after the hailstorm in March rolled through Roanoke. And if you have not gotten your roof inspected every year after that roof is about 5 years old, you really got to do it. Do by choice, not by chance. You never know when those things are going to pop up. You may have a leak. Don't know about the drone.
Elsewhere in the country.
That's right. You know, Hungary is, famous as a centre of electronics. I've reached out this afternoon, once we first got the information to other electronics companies, but so far those that I've managed to speak to say they have no knowledge of EAC Consulting. Those I've spoken to so far say they have no knowledge at all of this particular company. If it exists, it has an economic activity.
This is Nick Thorpe there in Hungary. Well, let's speak now to David Hambling, who's a military technology journalist based in South London. And David, when we asked you on the programme, it was to speak about his pages yesterday, which were targeted. Now, breaking news that it seems other to make these devices weapons?
So again, we're looking at something similar to what happened with pages. So at some point, explosive material has been introduced into the device that may be in the casing of the walkie-talkie, or it may simply be the battery contains explosive in its body as well. And you would also need an additional circuit so that could be triggered remotely. Obviously with pages, because they're communication devices that are constantly listening, it was easy to trigger all of those simultaneously. With the walkie-talkies, those would not be triggered unless they were